Now, coming up in the course of the night, live coverage on the ground all throughout Israel with Trace Gallagher, Steve Harrigan, Alex Hogan, and Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North. Also, former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. He will be with us. His analysis probably needed more than ever, both their analysis. First, here's what we know so far from Israel's ground invasion, which some are now saying could last for months. A very key objective we now know has to be for the IDF to destroy the vast network of tunnels constructed by Hamas under Gaza City. I've been in them. Now, the concrete tunnels, by the way, which have power, ventilation, were constructed under international aid. They used international aid money. A lot of that money happened to be your tax dollars, money that was intended for the Palestinian people. Keep that in mind when Joe Biden tries to pitch you on the $100 million in humanitarian aid for the Palestinians. But this money, instead of building this network of tunnels, should have been used for infrastructure, schools and hospitals, but instead used by the terror group Hamas for shelter, travel, the coordination of attacks to capture, kill, kidnap Israelis, and they also used for the storage of their weaponry and many other day-to-day operations. Now, sadly, this underground network was built below residential areas. Why? Well, of course, in order to use civilians above as human shields. Now, take a look at your screen. This animation shows how Hamas actually built their terrorist headquarters directly underneath Gaza's largest hospital. I wonder if that's the same hospital that was blown to smithereens by the Israelis when it never got hit, and it was from the Islamic Jihad. This was when the media lied to you and it just flat out destroyed that butchered that story. Most of these media outlets never took responsibility. And by the way, that hurt Israel because they had to reveal their intelligence gathering capability just to prove they did not do this. They didn't do it. This is one of the reasons the IDF has been pleading with residents now for almost 21 straight days in Gaza now to move south of the city. Now, unfortunately, the freedom-loving terrorists of Hamas, the people that have been praised all around university campuses in our country, they are preventing civilians from actually evacuating. According to a phone call between an IDF soldier and a resident of Gaza, Hamas is blocking roads, even shooting at people as they flee. Listen for yourself.
محمد
الو
كيفك؟
ايوه
بحكي معك ضابط من الاحتفال الاسرائيلي. انا عشان املك وسلامتك بدي تنزل ضروري لاتجاه خان يونس.
لوين؟
لاتجاه خان يونس ضروري. انا بديش تخاطر حالك فمن جانك بدي تنزل لاتجاه الجنوب لاتجاه خان يونس.
نفكر كل الطرق. طيب
يا عمي محل ما انت موجود في المطار انت لازم وين سكر من سكر الطريق؟ حماس؟
صحيح.
ايش؟
ايوه صحيح.
وين سكروا الطريق؟
عن شارع صلاح الدين.
صلاح الدين؟
ايوه.
كيف هم سكروا الطريق؟
بوجهوا الناس، مش حد يطلع، ما حد الناس بيطلعوا بوجهوهم.
اما شو يعني حطوا سيارات شو سووا؟
ايوه.
كيف بالضبط؟ فهمني. تفضل انت شو
كيف انت السيارات اللي بيطلعوا بوجهوهم وين بيرجعوا.
اما كيف هم سكروا الطريق؟ فهمني.
يعني كيف بتلاقي ناس
هم يطلقوا نار على الناس اللي بدهم ينزلوا؟
ايوه.
Now, the people of Gaza, they're never going to be free living under the thumb of the terrorist group Hamas. This is a truly barbaric group of indoctrinated terrorists, thugs, who will always be terrorists, masquerading as the world's ultimate victims. Convert or die, remember? Death to Israel, death to America. Remember? We should maybe start listening. What did the 9/11 Commission report tell us? They were at war with us. We were not at war with them. They've been firing tens of thousands of missiles annually into Israel. They built this network of tunnels to kill Israelis. They're at war with Israel. They have declared war leading up to this October 7th event. Hamas is about to lose their brutal grip on the people of Gaza, whatever is left of Gaza. Israel has vowed to take them out, rightly so, and now faced with the reality, for the first time in years, the leaders of Hamas are not taking it well. Watch this recent BBC interview with the spokesperson for Hamas. Take a look.
You say this was a military operation, but the result of it was that hundreds of civilians were killed.
Because that area is very wide, and there are many people there, and there was clashes and confrontation.
It's not confrontation. You invaded houses.
I don't have details what happened inside, but I can tell you that we didn't have any intention or decision to kill the civilians.
How do you justify killing people as they sleep? You know, families. How do you justify killing hundreds of people?
To stop this interview.
I
want to stop this interview.
Yeah, how do you justify beheading babies? Good question. Sorry, I don't want this interview. You know, it's harder to lie when you don't have a captive audience. Ultimately, know this: Israel will eliminate Hamas from this earth. They will prevail, as their very existence now depends on it. They're also prepared to eliminate Hezbollah in the north in a two-front war, if necessary, probably even likely at this point. Iran's proxy wars, they have been very, very active for years and very active this month. But they're not just attacking Israel. The United States, know this and understand it, is also in their sights. Iran's proxies have launched a series of attacks against American soldiers stationed in the Middle East. So far, at least 24 soldiers have been injured, including some with traumatic brain injuries. Last night, after weeks of doing nothing, Biden finally authorized what turned out to be a very small airstrike against two warehouses owned by Iranian proxies, or as Senator Tom Cotton put it, quote, retaliation against expendable proxies, especially unoccupied proxy warehouses, merely validates Iran's strategy to use proxies to attack Americans. They are laughing at us in Tehran and Iran, and will continue to target Americans until President Biden gets serious about imposing severe costs on Iran. So far, Iran has suffered no real consequences for any of their actions, quite the opposite. They keep getting rewarded by Joe Biden. The oil keeps going out. Billions of dollars keeps coming in. The mullahs sleep safe and sound. Not a care in the world. Weakness of Joe Biden has invited hostility and aggression worldwide, and no one has been weaker than this president. He has more fury against so-called ultra-MAGA Republicans than the terrorists now attacking our soldiers, and we're going to have a lot more on Iran's hostility coming up tonight. But hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.